to lean on your celebrity.
Your brother had to lean
he
on
leaned on
celebrities, and I was so honored that your brother had even asked me because I was a fan.
Yeah.
You know, I was so honored to even for him to even speak to me about music because music was still male dominant.
Right.
I had to lose everything. Because remember, I've been yo-yo since I was 17, and people had this image of me, and I had this image of myself, you know? And had a professor tap me on the shoulder and tell me, one day you're gonna really do the work and you're gonna really be good. I'm on a radio show, Cafe Mocha Radio. We just won our 4th Gracie Award.
Good,
the award-winning Lonnie
wow,
and
award-winning
Angelique. We're in 31 markets.
Welcome back to the Rich Room. Very special show today. Very special. I got my girl of a couple of decades. I'm not gonna say how many decades. My girl YoYo's in town. What's up, girl?
You looking sexy.
Oh, thank you very much. I am pretty sexy.
You are pretty sexy.
And you are very sexy as well. Always have been. Always have been.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm just happy to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for coming out with me. But first, we got to get you smoking.
Okay.
We got to get you smoking. So let me get you started.
All right. Well, first of all, this is probably my 2nd or 3rd time having a cigar.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know the pull, don't swallow, and spit out.
Well, yeah. 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 So the key to smoking cigars is just looking sexy.
Okay.
Just sit back and look sexy. We're going to get you right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to light it and you just pull it. Pull it. Now spin it a little bit. Spin it around. Yeah. Get light. There we go. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Now we're comfortable. You got you got to spit it out a little.
Not bad. Not bad.
I like that.
Not bad.
That
it is.
Yeah, it's a little flavor.
It is.
You got peach. You got a little peach. So what I did, I got a special stick for YoYo, man. It's a peach stick and phenomenal. I like because I like smoking different. Sometimes I go a little harsh.
How do you know what cigar to smoke?
I think it's just by time, personal preference. You smoke, very bold ones. You smoke light ones, and you find out where your palate is. And once you find your palate, just stick to it.
I met a lot of people. Like when we were coming up, cigars wasn't a big thing.
It weren't.
No,
it weren't.
Like what made you go into cigars?
I think playing golf, playing golf, being out there, seeing other guys smoking. I have asthma. I grew up with asthma. Always had problems. But on the golf course, guys were smoking. I like the smell. So I'm like, I'm going to try that. So the next time out, I smoked one. And then the open air helped me out. My lungs were good. And then I just got hooked. And now I go everywhere to smoke.
Are there any special cigars that you like?
Yeah, my favorite cigar is the CI Legend. It's a honey cap, or not honey, it's a sweet cap on it, but it's dope.
Now, where do you find that?
Now, I find that at Cigar International. Okay. That's the spot. It's a Drew Estates private label. Another great stick is one I'm smoking right now.
Okay.
This Definition cigar.
I like this right here.
Yeah, these boys are out of Texas.
Yeah.
It's black-owned cigars. Okay. You know what I mean? I like their sticks. Not because they're black-owned, because they have great sticks.
I have a buddy from where is Nelly from?
Nelly from St. Louis.
I have a buddy from
St.
Louis. I have a buddy from St. Louis, Rodney Hubbard.
Okay.
He works with a lot of the comedians. What's the comedian name who does smoke cigars? He's a comedian on the radio. Oh. He talks about politics a lot.
Is it DL?
DL Hughley. He works with DL Hughley. He works with
he's a big smoker, by the way.
He works with what's the other one? I worked with him a lot. He's with Tashina Arnold on that new show. Cedric
Ced's a great dude too.
Who I love so much. My brain is just it gets cloudy after a while. But Cedric the Entertainer loves cigars, and Rodney Hubbard messes with him. I'd love to introduce you to him.
I would love that.
Yeah, his family's into politics, so he's a community activist. He's a lobbyist. He does a lot of work in the community.
Rodney, we got to get you in the Rich Room, man. We got to get Rodney in the Rich Room.
Yeah.
We do, man. So man, I want to talk about how we first met.
Yes.
And we first met on a trip. Jerome got...
And your mother.
Listen, Jerome got drafted by the Rams, so the family, we all went out to L.A.
Yes.
Our first time in L.A.
Yes.
And we're loving it. And then Jerome, we told Jerome we wanted to go to Universal, and he said, well, I can't go, but YoYo's going to go. We were like, YoYo, who? YoYo the famous Yo-Yo, are you fucking, you know what I mean?
Now, can I interject?
Yes.
Your brother had already told me about you.
Oh, really?
Your brother had already told me about you. Your brother had told me that my brother is a rapper, and that if there's any way that I could help you in your journey,
That's
because
dope.
he was supporting you, and I was new. Hip hop was still fairly new at that time.
Yeah.
This is the '90s we're talking about, and I couldn't wait to meet. And I spoke to your mom before I spoke to you.
Really?
I spoke to your mom before I met you at the restaurant.
What?
Yeah. Do you remember what restaurant
We
were?
went to, it was George's, right?
George's. Who owned George's?
George's was owned by,
The basketball player.
oh,
Start with a D.
who owned George's?
George's was owned by
Who owned George's?
oh goodness, we have to put that in.
And it was an actor too. It's
Yes, it was two of them.
Yeah.
But oh goodness.
who owned that?
Dark skin.
I was gonna say Ray Parker Jr.
No,
He
he
owned
dark
Ray.
skin. No. He was a basketball
He was a
player.
basketball player
He was a basketball player. He
with the
was,
Lakers. Who owned this damn restaurant?
start with D. We'd have to go into it. But that's the only way we got seats.
Yeah, we're gonna put it up for everybody.
Yeah,
to see.
that's the only way we got
Oh,
seats
really?
in the place. It was very
So
popular.
you had to lean on your celebrity. a little
Your
bit.
brother had to lean
Oh,
on
he
the
leaned on his.
celebrities, and I was so honored that your brother had even asked me because I was a fan.
Yeah.
I was so honored to even for him to even speak to me about music because music was still male dominated.
Right. Yeah.
People only wanted to go to the men in the industry.
Yeah.
They wasn't really messing with the women in the industry. So for him to be fearless and
Right.
focused and to
And
really
approach
talk
you about it.
about his brother
Yeah.
meant a lot to me, and I couldn't wait to meet you. And that was our meeting spot.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that. Like, do you feel like the music industry has changed? Do you feel is it still male dominated? Because I tell everybody, I love where we are musically,
Yeah.
especially rap.
Yeah.
Especially for the women.
Yeah.
Rap.
Yeah.
The women of rap who
Yeah.
who have taken the power of the word bitch or taken all the power away from the
Yeah.
guys and said, no, we own this.
Yeah.
And now us men, we're offended. Like, whoa, I can't believe she said that.
Yeah.
But all these years we've been saying the crazy.
You
So
know,
what you think?
the industry has changed. I went to Congress in '94. Congress Maxine Waters brought me out on the what is it? The D12. What is it? What's
Yeah,
the
that-
airlines?
wow.
On the what is the Air Force One? I
on
flew
Air Force One?
in '94.
On Air Force One?
On Air Force One, I flew, and my grandmother, who God rest her soul, made Congresswoman Waters a cake.
Bitch.
And
You
a,
took the cake?
a pound cake, and she put it in those cookie jars. Remember those steel cookie jars?
Yes.
Those metal cookie jars? She packed it up in a metal cookie jar. She said, give this to Maxine Waters for me.
Wow.
And we all ate the cake. I had a newborn baby at the time. Hip hop was still fairly new,
Yeah.
and we were fighting. I went to talk about them censoring hip hop. A lot of people see those labels
Right.
on the graphic intent,
Explicit
parental
lyrics.
I went and spoke before Congress when they were talking about putting that label on the music.
Wow.
When they were saying we need to censor it. At that time, we were high in Dolores Tucker.
Yeah.
The Congress and the political field was really starting to get into hip hop.
Yeah.
And they were saying, hey, listen, the label is making you do this. People are making you do this. And really, we were just young kids. I signed
Expressing yourself.
expressing ourselves, really not even knowing the demographic we're talking to, the public we're talking to.
You're just telling your story.
We didn't even know what radio would play our music.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
How much have times changed?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm proud of hip hop. Hip hop is it's opened the doors. It's allowed the world to see a lot of America that we would have never seen.
True.
It reminds you almost like, the African tales.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When jazz was talking and jazz just made, they were speaking a language, but then they made it sexy. And then they made people really love it because it made people calm their energy down. It made people relax in the spirit that they were in. And that's what hip hop was doing for a lot of people. You didn't really feel like you were listening to gangster
Right.
rap.
Yeah.
You didn't really feel like you were listening to some young black boys disrespecting authority. You were listening to your story.
Yeah. It was reality rap.
And it came in only a couple of sections when I started. You know, the East Coast was dominant.
Mm-hmm.
The West Coast was getting its feet wet in it. So it was fairly new, and females didn't want to be associated with hip hop because the press and the journalists were speaking so negative about it that nobody even wanted to be associated with hip hop.
I remember. Now, how old were you when you first got started?
When I first started in hip hop, I was young. We just had moved from the South Bay of Los Angeles. My mom and dad separated, stepdad separated. We moved to South Central Los Angeles. And it was the first time I really started hearing, I was in the 6th grade, first time I started hearing of NWA, King T, Tiny T, all of these different people. I really didn't know about, you know, Dr. Dre and the group that they had, Uncle Jam's Army. These places where a lot of the older people in my generation were going to and listening to this type.
So that was a venue? That was
Uncle Jam's Army was like a production.
Okay, all right.
Was like a production where Dr. Dre and his crew would come. You know, they were mimicking almost like George Clinton and Parliament.
Oh, it was that big.
They would mimic that. So that hip hop came with that kind of dress, that kind of lifestyle. And here we had NWA saying "fuck the police." A bitch is a bitch, and you know, and it was really urban. It was really like, who you calling a bitch? You know what I mean? And me wanting to, well, just me being in entertainment, I've always been performing, and me hearing these kind of lyrics made me want to come back as a female artist and rap about it. I was into poetry. I was in a proficiency in English program in junior high and in high school. So poetry was big. And before I even wrote a rap, I used to recite like, you know, Langston Hughes poems. You know, I would take a little bit of his poems. I was cheating it. Taking a little bit then and adding a little bit of mine. But
you're beefing it up a little bit.
But understanding. But then I would take my nutritions in my lunch and write raps. And, you know, I would battle the dudes. And so West Coast became a battling state. You know, because we would battle. And there wasn't a lot of females that were battling because, like I said, a lot of girls were into guys who were just, and me, here I was an artist. You know, I was writing raps, you know, yo, busted, you know, writing raps on my boyfriends, you know, got caught cheating, you know, And I was writing raps to compete against them. And, you know, we had talent shows. We had the Golden, the Star Search. You know, we had all of these different things. And in order to be in these things, you have to do good in school. You have to keep this grade level. So it was another form. And my school was Washington Preparatory High School with John McKinnon, which he did I don't know if you guys see it. You know, there was a movie made on him about this school in South LA where he came in there, George McKenna, came in there and changed this whole school. He took these young gangsters and recreated a new era. And I was a part of that era that he created. Really? So the arts was a part of it. We became preparatory when I got there. Oh, wow. It became a preparatory school when I got there. We had a lot of stars. You know, we had the Candyman. You know, we're going to the Johnny J, who later produced Tupac and myself and worked with us. We had everybody who worked with Ice Cube. We had the Lynch Mob. We had
everybody was there.
We had the Mad Circle, who was Coolio and Dub C. So we all of them went to school with me. We had Eva. We had, people who worked on the Steve Harvey show. A lot of people came from Washington Prep that came from California that lived in an urban community that their parents didn't ship out to the suburbs.
Wow. So you've been involved in this in a long time.
I have.
Man, that's something. So you went to high school with everyone.
Yes.
You came up. You started rapping.
Yes.
How did you get Ice Cube's attention? How did that first deal even happen?
Yeah, I was the best on the West.
You're the best. They didn't know how to do it.
I battled them all. I
you
wrote
killed
raps.
everybody.
Sir Jinx produced Ice Cube's album, America's Most Wanted, and all those. So Sir Jinx went to school with me.
Oh wow.
He had a group, and they couldn't beat me.
Nobody could beat you.
Still to this day.
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 I love that. So I consider myself a shitter on her. Yeah, that's what I like doing. You know what I mean?
So
you is
so
just
you
shitting
rap.
on everybody.
So you rap.
Yeah.
Well, can you spit something for me?
I cannot.
So you're not a real rapper.
You know what? I want to. You know one thing.
Can you spit something for me? Spit an old one for me. Come on. Let me hear it.
Oh wow.
Come on,
put me on the
that's
spot.
right. Put you on the spot.
You put me on the spot.
That's how I did when I first met you. You stood at that table at the restaurant.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yes, you did.
We're gonna get back to that. We're gonna let me think about that.
Think about it.
Because we'll spit one together.
Okay,
we'll
gotcha.
do one together.
Okay,
we'll do one together
okay.
because that's a good one.
That's a good one, huh?
I've kind of like suppressed that whole part of my life.
What made you want to be a rapper?
I think growing up in the neighborhood, seeing all the influences, hearing the music, and being around all the guys in my neighborhood. Yeah. So what happened was, when I came back from school, I started a record label. I've always been like the entrepreneur guy. I started a label, and I had guys in the neighborhood rapping. Yeah. So one guy who was one of my best friends was the DJ. Okay. And he was like making beats for the guys. So all of the rappers quit. So at this point, we had studio time, we had beats. So my guy was like, man, we gotta record this. Well, why don't you record? So I'm like, all right, come on. So then I started rapping with him, and then that's how my whole rap career was born.
And what kind of rap did you spit?
It was all gangster. It was all hardcore gangster rap.
Yeah. Were you talking about your community? What were you talking about?
I told him when we eventually ended, I told him that, man, we pretty much killed everybody in Detroit. We shot and killed everybody in Detroit, man. It's time to talk about partying, making money, and women. And we just had like
you were changing when hip hop was changing.
Exactly. So we had some creative differences, and then I was getting married, had my daughter, had a son and a daughter at the time. So I had to pull back and just focus on a career.
And being the brother of a superstar, a football superstar, did that affect you?
I think it affected me in a sense that it made me be more independent. Yeah. It made me make sure I'm not going to lean on him and his success and what he's doing. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way. And I think that is one of the major reasons that we're still extremely close to this day. Yeah. Because I was never a puller like Jerome. I'm doing my own thing. I would be broke. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Is that hard to have a superstar brother? I mean, even though in your own right, you being an entrepreneur, being successful in your own right, is that hard? Because I'm the only successful one for my family. Right. You know what I mean? People always
perspective.
In that perspective, people feel like they pulling from me when sometimes they're not. I wish they would pull on me
a little more to help them.
Because I don't even know what they even need. But understanding what I go through already, they don't want to pull from me. Do you feel like there is a give and a take that
there's definitely a give and a take.
You fall in?
There's definitely a give and a take. I consider myself to be unique because during Jerome's whole career, I was never jealous. I was happy. Yeah. I enjoyed every moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was like a phase of my life where I was in a relationship. I had kids, so I could only give a little bit of time. Yeah. But anytime, hey, Jerome, I'm coming out. Come on. You know, like he's never said no. Yeah. Would never say no because if my ask wasn't big, you know, it wasn't anything, and I celebrated and lived in his success with him. Yeah. So, and I think our whole family did. We really enjoyed it. So it wasn't, and we're all very independent. So it wasn't a pull like I need Jerome to make my life better. You know what I mean?
And meeting your mother and understanding that your mother was a community activist and that she cared about the community. Yeah. What kind of effect did that have on you?
So again, that put me where I am right now. Yeah. You know, I love to help. I'm a resource for
everyone. It comes natural.
I don't know any other way. Yeah. Now, what about you? Yeah. Because you've had a long career, a long history of helping and supporting, whether it's women's rights, whether it's other people in entertainment. Because you're on a board right now. Right?
I'm on a board. I'm on a radio show. I have an organization. I'm on a radio show, Cafe Mocha Radio. We just won our 4th Gracie Award. With the award-winning Lonnie Love and our producer, Angelique. We're in 31 markets. We're on Sirius XM channel 141. Okay. And we talk about women's subjects. We are #1 for women in radio of color.
Wow.
And I have the Intelligent Black Women's Coalition, which has been in existence for 34 years. My entire career in music. IB, the Intelligent Black Women's Coalition. And I am the founder of the YoYo School of Hip Hop, and we have been in existence for, this is my 12th year now. This is my 15th year and my 12th year touring around the world, giving $60,000 to young entrepreneurs and artists that want to attend HBCU or go to college that has writing or entertainment or music in their path.
Yeah, I've been following you. Listen, I love you and I follow everything you do. So I knew about the academy and all of those great things. Now, how do you do that? That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. How do you do it? It's selfless. How do you give that amount of your time and still remain you and still be a mom and still work and still make money? You know,
it actually is. Sorry, it actually is a selfish give. It actually started for me surrendering to God. You know, being in the entertainment industry since I was 17, I went to God at the age of 29. I was getting ready to kiss 30, and I said, God, what am I going to do? You know, I was surrounded in music. I did radio. Of course, I had my comeback, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was in a relationship with my kid's father, who was a professional basketball player. And here I was, a professional artist, laying in the background in my life, trying to be a great wife and not be
playing in the background
and not trying to be too aggressive.
Not being you though.
Not being me. Thinking I wanted to grow up. I was thinking like, God, what do I do next? And I realized that's why college is so important to me, whether you stay in college or not, just the act of going. I didn't know what I was going to do because I had been famous since I was 17. I consider myself a major baby. I was signed to a major label at 17. So I didn't know what I was going to do. From South Central Los Angeles, born in Compton, I decided to move to Jersey, where my kid's father was from, and I wanted to go to school. I had played in Boys in the Hood, Minister Society, Here's the Man, Sister Act 2. I did Key Lolo. And I said, I want a different role. I don't want to play the homegirl role anymore. And I already was a rapper that was being scrutinized by the media.
And stereotyped.
How do I change that? So I said, I have to change myself. So I went back to school. I auditioned to go to Lee Strasberg in New York. I went to audition, and I got into it. And Waylon Jennings' son, Shooter, was renting my house out at that time in Los Angeles. So my mortgage was covered. Here I was in Jersey, living my life. Never had been to the movies by myself.
Wow.
Never been. Remember, I was famous at a young age. I had never been to, like, we used to have Kmart and Sears. I never had been to any of those stores because
by yourself.
Here, not even in life at that age, because I was young and famous. I wanted to project a certain kind of image. So I didn't realize I was living a pretentious life. I didn't realize that I was being what everybody wanted me to be, and I wasn't even living.
You wasn't being.
When I moved to Jersey and going to Lee Strasberg, I went to learn how to act, and I learned how fake I was.
Wow.
I didn't realize I was fake.
That's profound.
I went to learn how to act, and I learned that
you were fake.
That I was fake. Damn. I went back to school to work on my associate's degree in liberal arts, following Debbie Allen's footsteps. And I thought I was going to get these degrees, you know, and
that was defining you.
What I got was confidence.
Oh.
So I teach a lot of that. I teach a lot of, you just have to move forward.
You got to move.
Life will give you what you want because, you know, I came back to find myself. And that's what full circle comes in. I would never be sitting here 34 years later as if I had a new single out right now, performing and still working my way with just the music that I have laid out in the world, had I not went and searched for myself.
So you kind of like found yourself at 29?
I found myself at 30.
At 30.
I found myself at 30. I moved back home. Waylon Jennings died. My professor kept asking, what am I going to do? What are you going to do with your life? Is this man going to marry you?
Right.
And of course, my grandmother, before God rest her soul, kept saying, come home.
Come home,
There's
bring it
something
home.
my spirit not right. Come home.
Right.
You know, and I kept saying everything's beautiful because it was. Not paying for anything, having somebody pay for something for me, having my rent, my mortgage be paid on the West
everything was
Coast,
taken
me
care of.
getting a chance to live on the East Coast. I thought I had it made, but I wasn't whole.
Right.
And the wholeness came for me was my rebuilding my relationship with God, surrendering.
Yeah. That's the most important part.
And surrendering.
You got to give it up.
What do you mean by giving up?
You got to give yourself up. You got to surrender.
And what does that mean?
That means opening yourself up and not only being vulnerable, but following his word.
And you know, for me, it was losing everything.
You had to lose everything.
I had to lose everything. And not in a bad way. I didn't lose
Right.
my home.
Right.
I didn't, I lost relationships. I had to commit, and when God started working on me, and this is where my spiritual journey comes into place. God had to
Clean house.
kill the old me
Yeah.
so that a new me could form.
Yeah.
And that took a lot out of me because remember, I've been yo-yo since I was 17 and people had this image of me and I had this image of myself, But had I not went to Lee Strasberg and had a professor tap me on the shoulder and tell me, one day you're going to really do the work and you're going to really be good.
One day.
One day. He said, one day you're going to really do the work and you're going to really be good. And I looked
How do you take that like?
I said, how does he know I'm thinking? How does he
Right.
know I'm not
Yeah,
doing
how
the
does he
work?
know?
How does he know? How does he know? And then I challenged myself. I said, you know what? I'm going to go home and I'm going to do the work.
Right.
I did the work for 2 weeks. And when I came back, I knew how he knew I was lying. I knew how he knew I wasn't doing the work. I knew how he knew I was cheating myself. And I said to myself, when I finally got it, I said, oh my God, all those fucking people know I was lying to their ass. I was like, fuck. They gonna know. Everybody knew I was a fucking liar. Like, oh my fuck. I was embarrassed.
Wow.
I was embarrassed to meet myself because, I didn't know how to live in my truth. Yeah, I didn't know how to live in my truth.
So that sounds similar to like the imposter syndrome that people suffer from. Like, it's almost the reverse because the imposter syndrome says, hey, listen, you're here, but you don't feel like you deserve to be here. Your thing was you were here, you felt like you deserved it, but until the professor said, hey, listen, one day you're going to do the work.
I needed grounded in that fame.
Wow. So when you think about young entrepreneurs, because we haven't even talked about Tupac.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because for us, for normal people, you know what I mean, not in the entertainment industry, to hear that, you were friends with Tupac. That is something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you have a quick story or something? Or how was that? How was he? Was he a good dude?
Oh, amazing dude. Tupac was an amazing dude. Tupac was, he was definitely a soldier. He was the first rapper that I met that balanced hip hop, almost like Lauryn Hill was for females. Pac was that before Lauryn Hill. Everybody was trying to search for a way where they could tell a good story and try to talk about what was going on in the community without being considered a gangster rapper or considered biased or, a racist or whatever they wanted to call him. He was able to talk about things that on the West Coast we didn't like. When we talked about our Zulu brothers, that was the first time I even knew about Malcolm X. Like, we knew about Martin Luther King, but being from the West Coast, we didn't know about Malcolm X. But the Zulu brothers from hip hop kind of brought that over to us. And Tupac was kind of like the Martin Luther King and the Malcolm X in the community, and he could spit.
Right, and he
wasn't afraid to spit. Right. And he wasn't afraid to perform. Yeah. And he was bold. And he was sexy. Right. And people loved him because people love fame. Yeah. Yeah. People can see goodness. I used to always tell people, are some artists that I meet, and if they're really good, I say, listen, you can only make yourself famous. I could help you.
Right.
But only you can make yourself
Only you
famous.
can make yourself.
Yes, only you can make yourself famous. Meaning there are some people who just have the gift. He had the gift.
Some people just got it.
And he was grounded.
Yeah.
You know, his parents was a part of the
Black
Panther Party, you know, and meeting his mom and understanding his story
Right.
and being a child of the arts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was able to put all that into you know, like when you mix in a song and it's all it looks like radio activity and you can like
you mix it all down.
He was able to mix it all down.
He mixed it all down. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So with that and with everything you do in the community, what type of words of inspiration or if there's a young person looking to get into the entertainment industry or they're at a place in life where they're stuck.
Yeah.
What type of advice would you give them? What you know, how would you
in
help
life them? Stuck and what else? They're in life and they're
in
stuck.
life, they're stuck or they're a young entrepreneur
and they're a young
or
entrepreneur.
a person trying to get to the next level.
You can't get it being fake.
You can't be it.
You can't get it. I'd like to tell you the first thing you have to do is work on you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can lie to the world, but you can't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to tell lies. They just think that
They live
these
in
lies are going to just get them everywhere. A lie might put you in a situation for 7 years.
Right.
But then you have to regroup and go through another 7 years.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I think to be successful, you have to do the work. You have
You got to do the work.
If you want it,
You have to do the work.
you have to really do it. And there are levels, like Sierra says. Thanks, shout out to Sierra. Come on, I'm out here representing. Shout out to Sierra. You know, she talks about leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, leveling up means, you know, when a person who you are coming to for advice or coming to you in my era for a sponsorship or a partnership or something, to hear you complain. People know you're at level 2. Nobody's complaining. Everybody's taking ownership.
Right.
You know, you have to take ownership, and taking ownership is a way to succeed. And because with ownership, you have to deal with self.
Yeah, you do. You do.
You have to deal with self. If you're still blaming somebody or something or some entity or some company or anything, if you are still blaming somebody for the reason that you aren't where you need to be, you are still at level 2. And it starts there with taking accountability. If you can take accountability for who you are and what you have represent, you can take the success from it without having an MF or ask you for anything.
That's true. So I got a quote that I put up. Anybody who's worked for me in the past, they know my quote, right? My quote is, amateurs complain, champions adjust. And exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you're complaining about something, that means that you're not ready.
Yeah.
You're not ready. And you need to work on you to prepare and take ownership.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to move forward.
And there's a power in yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I hear a lot of people say you can't say yes. Well, once you surround yourself with the right people, you do the work. When you surround yourself with the right people, when you do the work within, when you have eliminated people out of your life that don't need to be there, then you can say yes. What is yes?
Yes is easy.
Yes is you committing to God, saying, I have allowed you to take ownership. That is a surrendering tactic.
Yes,
saying yes is surrendering, meaning that no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
That's right.
Meaning I can be in a room of snakes and not get bit.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Yeah,
the rod
looking
and
right
the
at it.
staff should comfort me. That means that I can look at you and not judge you.
Yeah.
I can understand who you are and where you are and have mercy upon you. Do you understand?
That's dope.
It means that
That's
you
dope.
can throw a sword at me and I'll never throw it back.
Exactly.
Why? Because I'm just too big for that.
I'm too
Because
big
I'm
for
way
that.
too smart.
I'm way too big.
Way
for
too
that.
smart to be.
Burner
with
Boy, that's
you.
so dope, man. You put me, listen, she put me up on this song "Way Too Big" by Burner Boy today.
Yes.
Listen, I never heard it. I love this song.
Yes.
Man. I'm way
Yes.
too big. I'm
Yeah.
way too smart for that.
Yeah. What made you give back to the community? What made you?
It was just in me. It was just in me. I think
Not on you.
not on me.
Because you
It's in
fly.
me.
You
Listen,
no, excuse me.
I'm sexy.
You sexy.
I'm sexy. Yeah, I'm
Sexy,
sexy.
sexy,
I am.
sexy.
Jasmine, where's Jasmine?
Jasmine, is you
Am I
sexy?
sexy? She knows I'm sexy. She
Now, what
knows.
makes you sexy?
I think it's me. I don't
Tell
think
me.
it's anything
I know,
outward.
but people use the word sexy. Sexy is intimate.
It-
Sexy is something that what makes you. Why do you
is.
say sexy?
I feel like I'm sexy because of who I am.
And who are you?
I am a great guy.
Yeah.
I'm I would say a couple of things.
Yeah.
But I'm a great guy, well rooted in family.
Yeah.
Community minded.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who will give his shirt off his back, but also be stern and tell you no if a no is needed.
Are you whole?
Whole meaning
Full circle whole.
yeah, I'm getting old. I don't think I'm complete. I'm close to complete.
And what's going to get you closer to your completion?
I think just living more. I think living more. I think I'm going through different stages in life now. All of my kids are adults.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. I'm still learning. So now I'm dealing with life as a father of adult children.
Yeah.
And how to manage that. And how to manage on the business side, because I own numerous companies, so I'm still managing that as well. Still learning a lot about energy, because I work in energy.
Of course,
So,
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
I get in an argument with my dude. He say, "I don't want to hear my energy's bothering." I said, "Listen, I'm getting out of this. I don't like it with my energy."
Yeah. So I'm still growing.
Yeah.
I'm still growing. I'm old, sexy, and still growing, baby. I'm still growing.
What's one thing you can cut out? What's one thing you cutting out next year? If you was to cut out anything.
If I'm cutting out anything next year, I would probably cut out. Or increase. Maybe not.
No, cut out.
I would cut out.
Yeah,
what
cut
would
out.
I cut?
Cut out. I'll ask you about increase later.
I would probably cut out the amount of time I go out. I'm in the streets. I like going out, but I enjoy being
If you was
out.
to cut out something, why would you cut out going out?
Just so I can focus more and get more work done at home. You know what I mean? Work and focus on business a little bit more, on starting a new business, or focus on helping my children start more businesses.
And what would you increase?
I would 100% increase more time with family, because I think in chasing your dreams and being successful, you sacrifice.
That is a
And
sacrifice.
the biggest sacrifice is time with your family.
It really is.
It is. And your family doesn't understand it. They just know that you're not there, but you're providing for them. So they're eating well, but at the same time, they don't see you that much.
That's part of the laws of success too.
Yeah, that is. You have to
really,
you got to sacrifice.
Yeah, you have to really, the sacrifice and the sacrifice of including them.
Yes.
The inclusion part,
Yeah.
the
It's
inclusion
rough.
part.
It's rough.
It really is.
Yeah. One thing I tell everybody is, like, for success, you have to give everything.
Oh.
Like, you got to get, and by giving everything, you're taking away from everything else. You know what I mean? So me increasing will be family time. Now, what about you? What do you take away? What do you take away next year? 2025, what we taking away?
Oh God. 2025, what am I taking away? I'm taking out eating unhealthy. I'm taking
That's a good one.
I'm taking out people's problems.
Oh. People
I
giving you their problems?
Yeah, wearing people problems on my sleeve.
Yeah.
I normally I'm very passionate, and so I love to but I gotta find that gangster in me again.
You gotta get back to the gangster.
Gotta get back to the gangster, get back in the gym, get back to my health.
Hey.
I'm taking out the fast food, and I'm taking out people's problems.
Taking out people problems.
Yeah, and I'm gaining. My family is good this year. My mom, my family. I'm very close to my family.
You gotta tell everyone I said hello to.
I will. You too. Yeah, and Detroit. I should have invited your mother to that event.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna gain this year. Back my gangster.
You'll get the gangster back.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think my softness. I think
That's
I
it.
got to a place of softness where I
Right.
just got too soft. You know what I
You gotta
mean?
get the gangster
I
back.
gotta get the gangster back.
I like that. So, man, I really appreciate you, man. I love you.
Yeah, I love you so much, too.
We're decades in.
We're 3 decades
We're
in.
3 decades. I follow.
Isn't that crazy?
I follow everything you do. You know what I mean? And I'm glad we're still a fan.
Yes.
We're still a fans. So go Steelers.
Yeah.
Big game,
Yes.
big season, and I got you here.
Yeah.
So I want to take this opportunity. Where's your glass? Let me help you.
Thank
out.
you.
I-
Listen, let me tell you something. His studio has these. They make their own drinks.
That Bartesian machine.
I've learned that you are a gadget guy.
I'm a gadget guy.
You are a gadget
I'm
guy.
I'm like my dad.
I'm gonna steal some of your gadget
Yes, you
stuff.
can. Listen, I got
Listen,
you.
you got all of the cute shit.
I got you. I got you.
Listen,
It's the rich room. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we?
everything is so immaculate.
Thank you very
I
much.
want to say thank you.
Thank you. So listen,
Yeah,
I want to officially welcome
Yes.
you to the rich room.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You are it, man. I love you.
You
Thank
busting
very
rap?
much. Hey, listen, I'm ready. I'm ready. And we got a lot of partying to do. I hope you're ready.
Hey, ladies, I've been in the
Yeah.
game since the 80s. I'm finna show you how to spank these babies. I'm a grown woman. Best believe I'm my own woman. They still acting like it's high school homecoming. Take notes. These quotes. I'm the West Coastess hostess. Never known for joking. My mic smoking. I'm thought provoking. I get the party open. Watch me. Put them on the back burner. They ain't too sloppy to copy. Can't top me. They might rock their little ice, but they can't knock me. Address me with respect. All times I get checked. Self-made player. Fat checks and assets. Uh-oh, no. Guess who's back? I'm the West Coast diva. Help put it on the map. It's yo. Act like you know they couldn't do it now. Back up in the, I'ma stretch them out like elastic. Most tricks is latex, fake like plastic, playtex and nasty. I was dropping classics when they was just some fast tricks, broken licking asses, passing notes to classes. Now they some big cats giving up the Kit Kat, spitting counterfeit raps. They can quit that, cut the chit chat, let them sniff that. Where they whips at, borderline brocators, just get back. I have them kidnapped,
Going
snatched
crazy.
for ransom. Shoulda sucked the tips and shaking your hips, table dancing, classy chick, no trashy chick. My thighs thick, but I never played the nasty bitch and all right. Always represent West Side. I got it cracking, regulating, rap ready to ride for all the people in the rich house wondering where I've been. Tell them the sun is shining. You should come on in.
Come on in. Come on in. Now, I cannot follow that. I don't know what the hell you thought I was going to say, but there's no way in hell I can fit it. I can follow that.
Listen, I have a cooking show.
Do you?
Have you seen me cook?
I have not seen you.
Have you seen me cook?
I have. I saw a snippet of you
I have a
cooking
cooking
on
show.
YouTube.
It's called Downright Delicious with YoYo. It's on Prime Video and Aspire TV.
But if there's another woman on there.
It's Prime Video. It's hosted by me.
Yep.
I cook, and it's my gift from God from being obedient. Yes, and this is I'll be taping my second season shortly. I am the host of A&E's Hip Hop Treasures. I play Duchess on Disney's Saturdays. I am the host of BET's Hip Hop Her. I am the founder of the Intelligent Black Women's Coalition. I am the ambassador for the National College Resource Foundation, and I am a Zeta Phi Beta.
Yeah, congratulations.
Incorporated sorority.
Listen, you see this. This is YoYo. I love her. Listen, thanks again for coming to the Rich Room. Guys, if you didn't get anything out of this, man, you need to watch this again. Again, thank you. Welcome back to the Rich Room, guys.
Yes.
We are here. Right here?
Yes, I'm right here.
That's it. Hey, listen.
Yes.
Welcome, guys. Cheers.
Let's go, Steelers.
Let's go, Steelers. Yeah.